Big question on everyone's mind. Are stimulus checks really coming in 2025, or just clickbait? So let's cut through the noise and get real answers now. What's confirmed, what's rumor, and what you need to know. Cut straight to the core of facts, context, and next steps without any fluff. First, let's establish what's confirmed. As of now, there are active bipartisan proposals circulating in both the House and Senate that propose a one-time economic relief payment ranging from $600 to $1,200 per adult, depending on income thresholds. These bills are currently in committee review, with sponsors in both parties discussing how to integrate the relief payment with broader legislative priorities, like infrastructure spending, healthcare funding, and extensions of the debt ceiling. Congressional leadership has publicly indicated that any stimulus payment would have to be part of a broader package and requires explicit appropriations to be passed by both chambers and signed by the president. That means while the idea is being debated in legislative hearings and garnering public statements from lawmakers, there is no legal authorization yet for Treasury to begin distributing funds. That's the official baseline. Some bills exist, people are discussing them, but nothing is locked in. Now, what's rumor? And here's where it gets messy. Some YouTube creators, social media posts, and chain emails are claiming that Treasury will begin sending checks within days or next week. Those statements are false. There is currently zero funding appropriated in any Treasury account for a 2025 stimulus payment. The IRS has not released any guidance, nor issued notices or forms. There is no House resolution giving permission to distribute, and no signed legislative document giving the green light. So anyone claiming your deposit is pending or check your bank account tomorrow is spreading misinformation built on guesswork or sensationalized assumptions. Those posts are frequently designed to go viral, prey on economic anxiety, and drive engagement, not to inform the public. Now let's examine political context and timing. Politicians often discuss stimulus checks in connection with upcoming elections. You've likely seen former President Trump, certain GOP senators, and even some Democrats hint that sending relief payments now could energize voters ahead of the 2026 midterms, and that's a key factor to understand. This isn't purely economic stimulus emerging from pandemic-era models or recession prevention. This is tied to optics and political strategy. Because stimulus checks remain popular with voters across party lines, they're being floated as potential election incentives. What matters is that any public statements about payments coming immediately are usually tied to campaign messaging, not legislative fact. This is why you might hear talk about checks being ready in time for November, or before the midterms, but that's campaign speak, not legal guarantee. Next up, eligibility criteria based on current bill drafts. Rumors vary wildly, from people saying everyone gets $2,000 regardless of income to claims that only low-income families will qualify. According to the most detailed proposals circulating, full payments would go to individuals earning up to $75,000 a year or couples earning up to $150,000, with phase-out starting above those thresholds and no checks for incomes above $100,000 individual or $200,000 joint. That matches income brackets similar to prior rounds of pandemic relief. There is no proposed payment for children in these new versions, unlike in 2020 to 2021, where families received per child amounts. Retirees, Social Security, and SSDI recipients would receive automatic deposit unless they opt out. Freelancers and gig workers filing as independent contractors with 2023 AGI under the limit are also included, provided their most recent tax return had already been processed. People who earn more, those with unfiled taxes, or people with significant deductions that depress AGI may either receive a partial payment or be excluded. So if you are in a middle-income bracket and have filed taxes already, you may be a candidate, if and when the law fully passes. Now let's talk timing. Legislative calendars indicate committee markup on these bills will happen over the next 2 to 4 weeks. If committees vote in favor, then the full House and Senate calendars could schedule floor votes late summer to early fall. Assuming passage in one chamber, negotiation between multiple versions would take place in conference committee. Once a final version is agreed and signed into law by the President, the Treasury and IRS would need to program systems, validate bank and payment data, and issue disbursements. That process typically takes at least 4 to 6 weeks, often longer if transitions coincide with fiscal year deadlines or tech updates. That places a potential rollout window around early fall at the earliest, though real timelines could stretch into late fall or even winter depending on external delays. So if you hear claims of checks arriving next week, that is just not realistic. There is no legal authority or infrastructure backing that. Now, what should you do to stay informed and prepared? First, track official sources. Congress.gov for bill numbers like HR 5231 or S 2898. These are placeholders, but use actual numbers once introduced. Treasury.gov press releases, and IRS.gov updates on economic impact payments. Avoid clicking on social posts claiming alert, deposit incoming, or forwarding such links. Those are typically unverified. Bookmark and review any official FAQ pages once updated. Second, gather your documentation now if you haven't filed for 2023 yet. Gathering adjusted gross income info, bank routing numbers, and verifying direct deposit info with the IRS can streamline your eligibility once funds are approved. It also ensures that when payments are authorized you won't miss out due to filing delays. Third, consider your own financial planning. If relief passes, $600 or $1,200 can supplement savings, cover unexpected costs, reduce credit card balances, or prepare you for year-end taxes. But don't count on it as part of your immediate budget. You'll want to treat it as a bonus, not a core part of next month's rent or bills. Fourth, pay attention to how political messaging might shape consumer behavior. Spending patterns, stock market reactions, crypto markets, and even housing decisions can all be influenced by a rumor-laden check-coming narrative. That means you may see spikes in retail sales or short-term market rallies once the narrative heats up, even before any laws are passed. Researchers call this a self-fulfilling rumor effect. Markets respond to expectation, not just actual stimulus. Recognizing that helps you avoid acting on hype rather than economic signals. Let's bust common rumor headlines. Secret payments being deposited for Social Security recipients. That's false. No IRS messaging confirms automatic payments beyond what's already scheduled. $2000 for everyone ignores the fact that any new payment is income targeted and not universal. Checks going out next week is impossible under congressional timelines. Backdated payments are nowhere in bills. There's no retroactive option in current drafts. Keep your eyes peeled for amendments, but don't click the hype. Now, a note on political ties. What's different this time is the explicit strategic dimension. Lawmakers know stimulus popularity can boost polling and fundraising. Some public officials are calling it an olive branch to stalled bipartisan cooperation. Others call it a vote-getting gimmick. Listen carefully when commentators reference election timing. If it's being discussed as a tool for winning votes, that's a red flag that it's more about optics than policy. The mechanics make sense. Cash in hand builds goodwill, but the delivery depends on legislative success, not political promise. And we've seen this before with past false start claims. So how long might this conversation continue? Financial topics resurface all the time. This isn't like last November's viral clip that died in 2 weeks. If committee markup drags on, or if one chamber pulls the payment out of the package, we could see the same talking points bounce back next month or after tax season. Even into early 2026, the fact that the policy is on the table means it has longevity, and that's why you're hearing sustained buzz now. That's also why you should be alert for any updated versions or amendments. For instance, a future version might reintroduce child payments, or expand or shrink income thresholds. That can change your eligibility entirely. Stay tuned. So bottom line, yes, relief payments are actively in discussion. No, nothing is guaranteed or scheduled yet. Don't fall for rumors about immediate deposits. Verify directly from Congress.gov, Treasury, or IRS. Prepare your tax banking files now. Treat any eventual payment as a bonus. Watch for political framing, and don't act prematurely based on hype. This is how you stay ahead of the cycle, protect your money, and avoid misinformation. If this breakdown helped clear things up, hit like, comment below with what you're most curious about. Maybe income cutoffs, rollout timing, or political ramifications. And be sure to share this so your friends and family don't fall for false claims. And subscribe for no spin, up-to-date coverage as policy unfolds.